Hey crafters, it's me Jen Evers with Quality Crafts and welcome to Friday. Woohoo! And I know I just spilt Diet Mountain Dew on myself. I know that we are all excited to get through another work week and hopefully you are one of the lucky few who have like an extended break right now. I work for a school, so I obviously have the extended break, so I'm really excited because not only will I get to see my family for Christmas, but I'll also have time to move a lot of this upstairs into my new digs. So I'm excited. I can't wait for that to happen. And leave me a comment of your favorite Christmas tradition in the comments below. I would love to read what everyone's doing this Christmas. If you don't have a tradition, just leave a comment on what you'd like to do for Christmas. Or I don't want to get into the whole January. I don't know. I don't want to make any promises for the new year or anything like that just yet. There's some things that I would love to do, but we'll see how that goes. So tonight we're going to do a coloring tutorial. Basically, I'm just going to be coloring and showing you what I do and giving you some tips and tricks on how to get a blend with cheap colored pencils and either baby oil, which is what I have on hand right now. I'd rather be using Gamsol, but I can't find any, or I don't have it. I don't know what happened to my little Gamsol bottle, but as I move, I hope to find that. But baby oil will work too, just not quite the same. And also the Prismacolor blender pencils. These are amazing. I think that you'll find this truly helpful as I do. And if you want to order these, they're $3.99 for a set of two. So definitely worth it. So as you see me work with these, keep that in mind. I'll definitely do a pre-order for these. They're wonderful. I saw this, the first time I ever used one of these was at like a, what do you call it? Just like a get together, I get a crop kind of a deal. Only they were making takes and you'd use tools and stuff like that. Hey Kathy. Hi Kathy Webb and Sharon Schaefer, welcome. And we were coloring one of those trucks, those Christmas trucks, you know, with a little tree in the back was a stamp. And so I used this to blend like reds and stuff into the truck. It was so fun. I went and bought myself several of them, and this is the last one that I have that I can find. So I may be getting another one. We'll see. And we're going to use the Over the Hedge stamps that are in the store now. We did a pre-order of these, so some of you might already have them. We've got Olivia Owl. So cute. Hedgehog, Harry the Hedgehog. I forget their names. And then the fox is Henry the Fox. And you'll notice in the back of Henry, I have a couple of masks already created for them so that I could stamp over and add things to it when we create our cards. It's always really nice to have these so that you don't have to take time to make them. So when you get a new stamp set, make yourself some masks and pop them in there so you always have them. The biggest tip I can give you on that is use printer paper. It's super thin. That way when you put it over your image and you stamp on the top, you're not going to get a little white halo effect around your image. Hopefully I'll be able to remember to point that out as we go. I also have masks of Olivia. No, that's not Olivia. Harry the Hedgehog and also the owls, Olivia. Okay, so I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use tonight, but let me just show you a little bit of what color I got down already. So this one is the fox. Super cute. Do you see I already have some colors down? This was super easy to color, and I used orange, my blender pen, berry, smoke, and brown. So 4 different colors. Cute, cute colors. And here is another sheet that I have. And I wrote down, depending on what colors you like, I wrote down what I used for this one. This one I did with just 2 different colors, not including the beak, was brown and cappuccino, and that's it. So you can get some really cool blending effects with colored pencils with like hardly any colors. You don't need a lot. This one I used a whole ton of different colors and blended them all together. And then this one I used a whole bunch and I listed them here as well. So if you want to know what the colors are, if you're using this same set of cheap colored pencils, that might make sense to you, but otherwise you just have to pick some that kind of look like it. So these are called Crazy Art. And I don't have the camera on to focus. I'm pretty sure I don't. No. So Crazy Art, C-R-A-Z Art. And this one is brown. So I pulled out all the colors that I used so that we would know what they are. Hey Sandy, welcome. I'm glad some of you guys took some time out of the busy rush of Christmas to do some coloring with colored pencils. You don't need anything expensive to do this with. And I'm just going to show you kind of how I did these colors. Let me see if I can get, I'm going to move this around a little bit and see if I can get a little closer view since I don't have it on, yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. I may have to put on the other, just dawned on me you guys might want to see something a little bit closer up. And I should be able to, maybe not. We'll see if it'll let me. Nope, 920. It always flips back to the 920 and I don't know why. This one's not going to be awfully clear, but it will be a lot easier to see from that angle than from the other one. So all kinds of browns, yellows, a little bit of a reddish tone, and some grays with a little bit of pink for the cheeks is all that I really did. So I'm going to go ahead and color this Olivia owl that's flying. Hi, Lisa Gorman. Oh, Linda, I'm sorry. I need new glasses. Totally cute stamps. These are at qualitycrafts.com. You can find those guys in the store. So let's go ahead and start with something light on the face. This one I used just a little bit of pale yellow and sunflower, so I'm going to pull those guys out. Sunflower, and this should be, oh, that's custard, pale yellow, this one. Yep. And so I'm just going to use these two, one's lighter, one's darker, and I'm going to lay down the light one first. Just know that if you put wax over the top of your little eyes and stuff, you won't be able to go over them as well with black marker, which is something else that I like to point out that I like to do. So even though this is kind of a tutorial, I'm going to give you just things that I personally do. Other people may not. I'm not a professional colorist. I don't like go around teaching this or anything. I just know that I can get a pretty decent look. This one's really my favorite. This is so pretty. With these type of supplies, and I wanted to share that with you guys. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do more coloring tutorials, so I'm going to get more into that. We've also started with, if you were with us maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, when Bluebell was doing her images, and we were doing the, what do you call it? The challenge where if you color one and share it, then you get the next image for free. That's going on now. Progressive challenge. It's going on now. She came back. She's back into business, only she's not calling herself Bluebell. She's calling herself Twist Tunes. So you'll be seeing some of that as well. So now that I've laid down a layer of this pale yellow, and you have to use yellow, you can use browns or whatever. I'm going to go in with the sunflower color, and I'm going to lay down a really thick color of this, a little thick line around the edges. So I'm just going to go over it a couple of different times, make sure that that color starts to shine through. Pretty thick. Okay. And already, I'm sorry this is not super clear. Oh, you know what? I might be able to change it in here. Give me 1 second. I'm hoping that that it won't bug out because there's a lot of white on here. Oh, I don't think it's gonna let me on this one. Okay. I'm just gonna move this out a little bit. There we go. You let me know how you like it. If you want it in a little bit further. I just feel like the whole thing is a little bit blurry tonight, but I'm fixing that in the new year, so we're just gonna stick it out tonight. Now, you can go ahead and use the colorless blender and go in a circular motion into that dark color and blend it out into that lighter color. Just do little circles. You can always take some of the color off or rub the color off on the side. I'm just going to run it over there one more time and go a little bit further into the middle. And then I'm going to kind of go over the whole thing just so that it blends out. And you can see that that dark edge has kind of disappeared a little bit. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. Hey, Arrow Mama. Hi, Carol. So I do like having that extra dark around the edge, so I'm going to do that again. Try to stay really close to the edge this time, just so that it doesn't look awkward. But it's all smoothed out there, so you have kind of an even looking shade, if you will. I'm just going to go ahead really quick here and just add a little bit of orange, some dark orange at the tip, and then some brighter yellow, and I'm just going to go right over the color of that orange, circular motion, and bring it down. Now if it doesn't mix enough, you can go ahead in with your blender pencil and blend it out again. Here's another way that you can do it if you want it to blend even more. Put your blender right into the baby oil and then go right over the top of it. And work it in. It's going to move that wax around and give you a better blend. I don't necessarily like to use the baby oil. It will go through your paper, though I'm using super thick paper so you can't see it right now. But if you use too much of it, it's going to go through your paper, especially if you're not using a heavy paperweight. Yeah, definitely ask me questions because we can learn about coloring together. And it's just like watercolor. You can always go back in and add extra layers. So let's say I'm just going to go back in here with the dark orange, run that through the baby oil, and it's smearing out a lot better. And then I'm going to go back in with a little bit of that yellow. That is a much better blend. All right. Next thing we're going to do is head for the head and the body. That looks like it should be the same color. So I'm talking about like this part at the crown here and that little part underneath. Because we'll save the belly for a different color. Okay, and this one I did with like some almost a blend of like plum or purple, and this one I did with a couple of browns. So first off, let's do some browns. I've got regular brown here, and then I should have one other darker brown, cappuccino here. So this is, even though they're not like drastic different colors, I'm going to use the lighter brown and just use a lighter touch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in the whole darn crown of his head here in a very light brown. I'm not pushing hard. I'm just scribbling in that color, trying to make sure that it looks even. Just an even coverage over the whole thing. And just so I don't forget what I'm doing, I want this part down here to match as well, so I'm going to go ahead and put down a little bit of that. This is slightly different than using markers because you don't have to worry about whether it's wet still or whether it's going to blend because it's a dry medium. So I really like colored pencils for that. You can walk away and come back and pick up wherever you were. And then you see where all the lines are? They actually have all the lines already in here, so you know where to put the darker tones. A lot of stamps are going to that. They're like having like the shadows and stuff have little drawings on them, little lines, so that you know where to do it. But you can always just make it up on your own. There's no rhyme or reason or right or wrong where you're putting it. I mean, there's you know, your light source and everything, but I'm not here to like dig into that and delve into that really super deeply. So I am, for the sake of this video, going to follow their lines and make it darker where I see the little lines that they've pre-drawn. And that's where I'm going to add most of my darker color. And then of course I'm going to come back in with my lighter color, and I'm just going to do that circular motion again over the top of that where they come together. And I'm still going to leave some of it lighter because that's going to give you the two-toned effect that you're looking for. Super easy, super simple, didn't take us any time at all. I just want to show you that you can do it too. This one on the bottom, I'm just going to do a little bit from each edge. And then I'm going to put a little bit over the top of each one across the middle. So it's lighter in the middle and darker on the edges. I'll see if I can see how it's lighter in here. And I just added the dark to the edges there. Merry Christmas, Charlotte. Nice to see you. Okay. Let's see. Now you could do, let's see, we could do his little breast part here the same as our face. We could do it a different color. It really doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and make this one kind of, we'll leave like his belly looking white. And in order to do that, I'm gonna use a gray. This is just called Smoke, and the blender pencil, and that's it. I'm not even gonna use two different colors. I'm just gonna use one gray and one blender. And now the dark for this, because we're actually trying to give it a fake look of being white, this dark gray is going to go around the edges and not necessarily all through here, but I am going to add a little bit. So first I'm just going to do the edges. So anytime you want to make something that looks like it's supposed to be white, do the edges first and then take your blender or your lighter color and do the circular motion and drive some of that color inwards just so it doesn't look like such a sharp, what do you call it? Just so it doesn't look like two different colors just laid down. And then I'm just going to kind of lightly go over the whole darn body. And now it looks a little bit gray, but it also looks white. If you don't add any of the gray, then it looks like you didn't color it at all and that it doesn't look white at all. The darker and the more gray or black you add around the edge, okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more dark around the edge here, the more the center is going to look whiter. Because there's such a, I can't think of the word of it. There's such a difference. Huge difference between those two colors. So it ends up looking white even though you added gray. That was a tip that I learned a long time ago, and I used that quite a bit. So let's do his wings with like the same browns, but we'll add in a little like reddish brown. So I've got brown and cappuccino. Those are the two that we used originally. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of this mauve color. Oh, that one is, no, I don't want to use that one. That was orange peels. This one is mauve. All right. So we're going to use, first of all, our lightest color, which is brown. And we're going to just lay down that color. Now, if you want some white in here, you need to purposely go around your areas that are white. But since I'm not going to really add any white at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and do a light coloring of just the brown, the light brown first. I might be coloring outside the lines, but I know that I'm probably going to cut this little guy out, so I'm not too concerned about coloring out. And now you can see where the feathers end here. There's like a line here where the next row of feathers go, here and here. That's where you're going to want to make your darker colors. So here's a little bit of where it's going darker here. There's a little level. And that's all I'm doing is making these lines pop out. There's like a level or a line of feathers there. There's one kind of right there, and there's one kind of going up along the edge there. I'm going to show you to see where. So I'm creating a little bit of the layers of feathers there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in that mauve color. Hey, Dee. Nice to see ya. So I'm going to add the mauve color right underneath the brown lines I just created. I'm starting in the brown color and then dragging the mauve color down a little bit. And so I still have light brown in between each one of them. So you can see now the mauve color is coming down from the brown, and there's still light brown there. If you don't like the separated sections of that look, you can color over the whole thing and blend it all out. Hi, Air Mama. I'm using my super cheap Crazy Art colored pencils just to show you guys that you can get really professional nice looking results from any kind of pencils that you might have. You don't need anything super crazy. I'm going to go in with my blender pen now and just blend some of this out. Blending the brown into the mauve, down to the light brown, but not covering up completely. Which means I'm leaving a little bit of white space. What used to be white space should be slightly light brown space. And I'm using that rounded, rolling and rounding motion as I do it. So now you can see there's more of a blend in there, and there's still a little bit of that light brown. So you still get the texture of the wings in there. And now his belly really does look like it's white, even though we used gray to pop that out. He's got teeny tiny feet that you probably can't see in the blur here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of orange to those little tiny claws that are sticking out. And that'll be the end of that one. And that's it for Olivia. So that one was pretty simple. Let's go ahead and... I already have one of him, so let's go ahead and do this one in the box. And this one I used orange. I'm going to pull out all my colors here. Berry. My blender pen. My smoke gray. And my brown. So 4 colors and a blender pen. And we're given kind of the same color look as this one. So if you look closely here on this one, his face and his ears and his tail look white because I used the gray technique for that. Because everything is so close in here, I added a little bit of dark brown in here to make it look darker and set back more. Hopefully those are good tips for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to challenge myself to color this little guy. I wonder what I did with the little cutout of him. Oh, I don't think I colored him, but I think I have him in my... Oh yeah, I have him. Okay, so if you get stuck like I am, I'm like, okay, like I kind of know how I want to do this, but, you know, I need a picture too sometimes. So if you look at the wrappers, there's typically some kind of something colored already, so you can look at that for an example. So I'm looking at this one. Look how they have the flowers coming up from like behind him and stuff. We're going to try to emulate the look of this with some of the stamps as we create a card. So I'm going to go ahead and color him. He's got the white ears, the white face, and the white tail. So let's go ahead and do that part first. My hand itches. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of gray. So if you look at this one, his are very white. But there's this little gray part right here that kind of shows off his chin. So we want to do the same thing. As I look at that, so his chin's going to be kind of like right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw in a little line. And then bring down a little bit of gray from there. Not a lot. Just a little bit of gray. And I'm wiping off the color from before. So if you have this blender, you can just have a piece of scratch paper off to the side, wipe the colors off so you don't get them mixed up. And then I'm going to go ahead and blend this out using a circular motion again. And now we've got the little gray in there. Now we can go up into these corners. We can do a little bit of line down the sides. Wherever you want to add that gray to, it doesn't really matter. Let's see, I'm going to do a little bit on his tail. Because his tail is going to be white, so I put a little gray and I'll blend it out off the tip and off the edge where the colors transition from his tail. And a little on his ears because those are also going to be white. So I put down a little bit of gray, and then all I'm going to do is just circular motion, pull a little bit of that gray down. and then leave it so it looks white. And then for this part of his body, I basically just used one color, which was the orange. And I just did 2 tones by pressing harder or pressing lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the top of his head, super light. And here's another thing that I like to do. I have this black Uniball roll like jelly pen. I'm going to go over his nose in black, so if I don't get any wax over the top of it. This is what I was talking about before. If you put a lot of wax over that, you won't be able to make them darker. So if you didn't get a really good stamp and you want his eyes to really stand out, that's a super way to do that. Just get a black gel pen and color those in. So hopefully I won't smear this now. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep going on his head to make that orange. Just a light orange for now. And then if I look at the picture, we're going to be coming down from here into his legs to the edge, because we want to leave this part white too. And it's going to come down his body. His body's going to be orange, an orangey brown. You could add brown to this. You could blend in whatever colors you want. And then the rest of his tail here. Okay, now if I'm looking at the picture, I can tell that this part is a little bit darker. This part obviously in the middle is super dark. You can add brown to bring that out as well. So I'm going to add a little bit extra into the darker parts. His face doesn't have a lot of darker parts, but I like to do like the part from the nose going up. I think that looks really good. I did that on his little nose here. So add a little color to there and then go up, and then we'll blend that out. So first add in all of your darker spots. If there aren't a lot of darker spots, and you can go ahead and go in like around the edges. And then use your blender pen to blend it out a little bit. Around the edges, and then over the top of all of the light orange. Now when you're doing coloring with them, and you've gone ahead and colored out like this, right? You see lines. You can see all the lines that went down. The purpose, and it might seem a little redundant when I'm going over them. Let me get off some of that color. But the purpose of the blender pen is to go over the top of it in circular motion like this, so that that color blends out. Do you see the difference between the lines I left and the color I went over with in circular motions there? The lines blur a little bit more, and you get it all like smeared together. You know, that's where the blending happens. So if you've got 2 colors, it blends it out. Hi, Debbie. So I'm going to go back in, blend out those edges. And then go back and forth on the light stuff. You just keep doing that. Keep adding more color. Like here's some darker spots because I like the way that looked. Like I want this to look darker. You can keep adding color and deciding how you want that to look as you go along. Keep blending, keep adding. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to give him a little pink on the cheek, which is why I had the color berry out here. And this time I'm going to go very, very lightly up and down to make kind of a circle in there. Well, this one I might not blend out because I don't want to accidentally get orange in that. Maybe I'll blend out just a tiny bit. Not a lot. Okay, so he's got some cute little pink cheeks there. Not a ton, but just enough. And you know what? I'm thinking his legs look a little untouched. I'm going to go ahead and blend that in and give a little bit of definition to his legs there. That looks better to me. Hey Donna, I'm using the Walmart cheapies called Art. I always forget. Crazy Art. CRAZART. Crazy Art. Alright, I'm gonna set these aside for a sec. So you don't need anything fancy. Any kind of cheap colored pencils, whatever you have laying around is totally going to work. I did use a little bit of baby oil, but it's just not my favorite. If you can get Gamsol, that's a lot better. But I'm really more so loving this blender pencil. So if you want to order the blender pencils, you get 2 of them in a pack. They're from Prismacolor, and they're only $3.99. It's called a colorless blender pencil by Prismacolor. I'm going to go ahead and cut out these couple that we colored. And we'll make a couple of cards. It's up to you how close you want to cut because it's got they've got a lot of like little furry lines. I'm just going to cut enough to leave some of those little furry lines there. But I'm not going to get crazy and try to get, cut around each little hair. That'd be kind of silly. As far as I know, these guys do not come with dies, but they're really not that hard to cut out, so. And I like to fussy cut. There's one. I think that we're going to use this little guy that's laying down. So I want to do some flowers coming up under him. I think that would be really cute. And I don't think we're going to be able to do more than maybe 2 cards, so I'm going to stick with these 2 guys for now. You could also cut this like with little, a little bit further away so that it's got a little white halo around the whole thing. But I'm not doing that because I want to have totally just spaced what I was going to say. I'm going to go ahead and mask these, so I don't want there to be a white line around it because then I'm going to have a halo when I stamp things behind them. I might still because this paper is so thick, but we'll see how it goes. Hey, Deb. Linda Carafa, hello. Hope I got one more. Well, we'll hold on to him. We'll go for these 2 guys for right now. Wait a minute, that wasn't the guy I wanted. Yeah, maybe. I really want to do this one. Let's go ahead and cut him too. Maybe we'll put 2 of them in there. We'll see how it goes. Because one could be standing up and one could be laying down. And we could pop it up and make it look 3D. That'd look really cool. So we'll try that. Okay, since I have these and they're cut out, I won't need to mask. But I do really want to show you that, so I'm going to just pretend I didn't cut them out. Just for a second while I show you. Because masking's not really what I'm showing today, since we're just kind of basically doing coloring and stuff. So here's the thing. I have my card. Let's go ahead and do a card base here. Oh, and by the way, do you see the pieces that are sticking up here? You can avoid that by putting this in one of your scoring tools, whatever kind of scorer you use. Score it and then fold it the opposite way, and you won't get as much cracking. Alrighty. So if you stamp this, let's say I stamped that right on the paper, you're not going to have this thick ridge to deal with. Because now if I go ahead and put one over the top of this guy and stamp him out, oh, this guy pulled it out. Even if I cover him up like this and then stamp things over the top of him so it looks like they're behind, I'm going to get a white halo because this guy is so thick. That's what I was talking about when you make your masks. So on your project, you would stamp it right on the page, color it in on the page, and then you would mask with printer paper, super thin printer paper. You put that over the top and then stamp. That way, there's no bump here. You're not stepping down with your color onto the page, so you won't get this little white halo behind him. It'll look like they were actually stamped behind him. Now, we won't have to do that because I hand cut these out. So when I put them down, I just have to mark with a pencil where I want my stuff to be, pick him up and move him, stamp everything behind, and then put him back down. So that's what we're going to do today. And I need a light pencil here. So he's going to sit like right here. And I'm just making a light drawing around him that I can erase later. And I think, you know what, let's do both of these guys. So if he sits there, and we have this guy sitting here in front. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cute. Let's go ahead and draw him in. That's where they're going to be. Okay, so pencil's going to be hard to see from your point of view, but I can see them quite well, and so now we're going to go ahead and stamp down the stuff that we want behind them. So in each one of these, you have different flowers and leaves and all kinds of stuff, so I'm just going to pick some kind of randomly. Yep, I totally could. So she's saying, could I use this one and put the stamp down where he was going to be, stamp over him, and then move him? I totally could. So this is how I would do that. A lot of people make their stamps out of sticky paper, and I don't have that. I mean, I have some, but I don't have like the appropriate stuff that's not super sticky. So I'm going to put a little piece of ATG stick on there, and I'll show you what she's talking about. So we could use the masks to do that. Put them down. And I should have that guy too, so let's just do both of them. I accidentally did one in the cardboard paper, so I won't be using him. But here's the other guy, so let's go ahead and tape him too. I'm going to put one on the top and one on the bottom. And if you touch it to your fingers and like the back of your hand and stuff, It'll take away some of the sticky so you won't get it stuck to your page. That looks pretty close. Alrighty. And then we're going to go ahead and just stamp away whatever kind of flowers and stuff we want behind him. This one, we'll do in a kind of a green. Oh, here they are. I'm like, where did I put my things here? I'm going to go ahead and just use all of my oxides that are, because they're right here. I can reach them the easiest. So this one is Lucky Clover. Cute. Let's go ahead and stick some out here. Maybe we want a little bit over here. However you think it looks good to your eye. And then we can also color these in as well if they're not fully colored in. All right, Rosie, catch you later, my friend. Let's add a couple flowers because that's a lot of greens. So these are greens. Ah, this one's got some flowers. I like this one. Okay, so I need 2 different colors because the flower is going to put down some color and the green. So I'm going to use pine needles for the green, and the flower I'm going to use, I really want like a coral color. So I got abandoned coral here. That'll be pretty. So looking through the clear stamp, it's pretty easy to kind of decide where you want that color on there. So that's another huge bonus to clear stamps, right? And then I can look through and only get green on the leaves. Let's go ahead and put one up here. Cute. Maybe we should do a couple of those. Those are really cute. I'm thinking maybe one other flower would be really nice too. So let's see, what else do we have for a choice here? We've got those like purple ones with the yellow. Let's check those out. So we'll bring up those like up here. We'll just do one. I'm gonna try to get just the ink on just the flowers. This one's gonna be a little trickier, but if I go in from the corner, I should be okay. And then a little bit of the green. Okay. That's going to be a little iffy, but we're going to do it. Not too bad. Not too bad. So we can go back in there a little bit with some color and fix that with our pencils. So we'll give that a go. Okay. So we have stamped everything on the edge here, all right over the top of those 2 foxes, and now we can take those off, and we should have a little reveal behind there. Cute. All right. So this guy is going to be here. And I think I'm going to add my color first. So here are the rest of the colors of all my pencils. I'll pull these guys in. Got a whole ton more. I'm just going to use some different greens to give some of this some color. So you don't have to go crazy with the background stuff if you don't want to. Matter of fact, if you use a watercolor pencil, right after you stamp them, you can just put a little bit of that water from your water brush and it'll blend out those colors so that you don't even have to color them in. It'll do that for you. I'm going to use this one called Terracotta to just add a little bit of more color to the flowers here. And then the purple ones, I'm just going to blend in a little bit with my purple, and that's it. Color in the spots that seem like they got missed. And then maybe a darker green to fill in, because that looks kind of funny that that stem didn't finish out. So we're going to go ahead and finish that stem out just by drawing it in. Okay, so I just went ahead and finished off those flowers so that they look complete. And that's all we really need for that. Alright, so this guy, and now at this point we could erase some of these lines, but I think I'm going to try to get these guys in there first. I'm going to use some wet glue for this one. Yeah, the packages might be late just because it's Christmas, so don't get panicked if you didn't get your goodie box from the last sale. I feel like I didn't get this in the right spot. Let me turn it just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to use this one because I think I moved my some of my stuff upstairs. This guy I'm gonna go ahead and put on Pop Dot here, pop foam. Pop foam. So he looks like he is in the front of the one that's laying down, as well as in front of the flowers and the greenery. Let's make sure I line this up right. A little over that way. Not bad, not bad. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get in there to erase some of those lines. This is not my favorite eraser because it leaves eraser gunk everywhere. Look at that. All right, so we're definitely going to want to add some grass or something down there because that looks a little funny. Linda Carafa, maybe you can have a drawing so one of us watching can win your card. Absolutely. If you guys want to win this card, I love that idea. Anybody who really likes the card and would like to win it, let Penny know here. And she can take, now some of this grass has to go over the top of these guys because they're inside of it. So I'm just going to make some grass here, a couple different shades. So just leave a comment if you do want to win it, and I will go ahead and do a drawing. I love that idea. So some of this is just going to have to be grass green. So let's go ahead and just add some ground here. You could add some rocks. You could add some texture. If you've got Flower Soft, which I just sold some Flower Soft, you could add Flower Soft here. That would be really cute. Okay, and I'm just going to keep adding in a few more layers so this looks right to me. And then I'll use my blender pen, my blender pencil, to make this. Blender pencil. I lost one of my pencils. Uh-oh. I don't see where it went, so we'll just have to move on without it. Alright, so here I'm going to use the blender pencil to blend that into a soft, smooth looking ground so it's not so liney. That looks really cool. Love these pencils. If you guys want to pre-order these pencils, we're going to get some for the store. Let us know. It's so cool. Look at that. Look how nicely that just smoothed out the ground. Oh, so cute. Super cute. Alrighty, well, Penny will put that together, and best of luck to you guys. I'm going to make one more card. We're going to use Olivia Owl. I'm going to put my inks back together here. I hate when my lids and my labels don't match up. So that's what I'm doing. If you're wondering, like, what is she doing? Another card. Let's do this one. Alright, I'm going to try that trick. The only one I can find right now is the huge one, so let's just go ahead and try this out. So, 8.5, 4 1/4. There's my 4 1/4 right there. So you're supposed to be able to go over it a couple times because it's thick. And then you push this side underneath and give it a press, and you won't get the cracks. That's what I'm told. Check it out. No cracks. Woohoo! Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Let me show you the difference in case you came in a little bit later. Do you see that where my paper cracked and I bent it? Here I did the bone folder and I bent it the opposite way. No cracking. Phenomenal. We're going to use this little Olivia Owl here on this one. She's going to be flying in the sky, so maybe we should just do some clouds on this one. And then we could put her anywhere we want to put her. Let's do that. Okay, I need a little bit of paper. I should be able to make some pretty good clouds from here, right? Yeah, okay, let's do that. We'll use a little tumbled glass first because that's a lot lighter, and then maybe add a little bit of Mermaid Lagoon. And I need a tool. I hope I left a tool down here. I did. Shoo. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the top of this, see if we can get some clouds amassed in here. Oh, there we go. My piece of felt in here is dirty. Cross-contaminated with something. Here you can see some clouds in there. That's pretty. I don't know if I want to go any darker. I need to put a new piece in there because that's all full of green. So I pre-cut all my own pieces. Oh, that one's got black on it. Hold on. Okay. So I just put extra pieces of felt in there, and that's what I use. Alright. We'll put a little bit of blue in there. I probably don't even need to put that in the ink because there's probably plenty of ink on there. Let's see if we can go over the top of some of that green. Cover up some of that green that came through. Oh. There we go. I don't like the way this looks, so I'm going to put her flying over here, and I'm going to pop her up as well. I think I'm going to double pop her. Double pop her right here. Ooh, that stuff's pretty thick. Do I have glue on the inner? Why is that snapping? Okay. She can't just be like that though. We gotta put something on there. Like a piece of paper of some sort here. Okay. Would this one work? Oh, that would be really cute. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there. So this will be a place where the sentiment can go, but I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. That could also be he's flying across the sun or the moon or whatever. That's cute. I'm gonna just put that on there so there's a place for something, a different kind of a sentiment or something to go on there. Whee! That's cool. All right, so we can either do somebody can win both the cards, or we could have two winners. It's up to you. But I'm gonna, while you guys decide that, and maybe Penny could be. Oh, she totally could be sitting on a branch. Yeah, you can make her any way you want. I'm going to go ahead and clean some of this up so we can look at what we've got done here. And always save your little guys, your little masks, so you have them for next time, so you don't have to do them again and again. You'll always have them ready to go. Very, very handy. Hedgehog in there. All right. Linda Carafa, 2 winners. Sharing is caring. All right, 2 winners. Penny, do you have a way that you could do that drawing right now before we leave? If you can, that would be amazing. If you can't, it's totally okay. I'll wait until I hear back from Penny, though. Two numbers. Well, oh, okay, 1 and 8. I was like, 88, what is that, 88,088,000? Between 1 and 8. Oh, am I picking or are other people picking? Kathy, you read my mind. Go with Kathy's number, 7 and 2. That's what I would have picked. That's totally what I would have picked. We'll see who wins. Okay, well, I picked 2 and 7 because that's what I would have picked. I had them in my mind when that came right up on the screen. How excited! Diane Talley, you are a winner, and Elizabeth. So Diane Talley, you're the first winner. You pick which one you want. And then I will get your information. We should have all your information. But I will find it and then send those out to you. So Diane Talley, you win. Do you want the owl or the fox? Oh, and I'll stamp my information on the back too before I forget. Ta-da! Oh, I have a little cover here. Oh, I bet that's the one I was using on my spray, but it was the wrong one. Congrats, ladies. So I just need to know from Diane Talley which one she wants. Fox or owl. And Elizabeth, you get the other one. We'll make a note, because I am a forgetful girl. Did she leave? Did Diane leave? I hope not. Well, Elizabeth, if you want to pick, you go ahead. Since we're not hearing from Diane Talley. Oh, okay. Okay, the fox goes to Diane. Thank you. Oh, Arrow Mama, she finally answered. Sorry, my friend, you get the owl. Oh, goodness. That was my phone. Alrighty. So those are going to come out to you guys, probably be a little bit late because of Christmas and all that. So my apologies if they don't come super quick. But the holidays are upon us, so let me just go over this a little bit. This is not a sale weekend, but we will be having a sale the weekend after Christmas. I hope to have a lot of things moved and a really nice sale planned for you guys. That's my goal. And so the Wednesday 1 in 10 by Jen will be held off until the week after Christmas since Christmas falls on Wednesday. But there will be a Friday free play the Friday after Christmas. So there will be a Friday free play and a sale the weekend after Christmas. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're looking forward to new coloring videos in 2020, you're in luck because I will be doing the Blue Bowl / Twist Tune Progressive Challenge on my YouTube channel right here. And hopefully that will go for the entire year of 2020. And the first one will be coming out this month. Actually, we're starting in December. Okay, so if you guys want to join in on that, I think it's only like $3 to join in. And then every successive month after that, as long as you color it in and share it in the group, you get the next one for free. So it only costs $3 to get going, and then you could get a free digi every month, all month, by joining in that challenge. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a very Merry Christmas, and I have so much fun with you guys. I can't wait to see what comes in 2020. I hope you guys are excited too, and I can't wait to see you guys next video.